So, what if I told you that the normal financial advice everyone's been giving you for years is actually the very thing keeping you broke? In this explainer, we're going to flip the script on some of the most common money myths out there, and we're going to show you why being weird with your money might just be the smartest thing you can possibly do. This quote right here, this is the heart of what we're talking about today. It's a pretty wild idea, right? That if you just follow the crowd, do what everyone else is doing with their money, you're probably headed for a life of financial struggle. So what does it really mean to be weird? Well, let's dive in and find out. All right, first up, let's dismantle the myth of good debt. You've heard it a million times. We're told that some debt is actually smart. It's a tool. Think about it. Credit card rewards for free travel or student loans to get into that dream school. But are these tools really building you up, or are they just digging you into a hole you can't get out? Okay, let's talk about a guy named Miguel. He called into the show and he was absolutely convinced he had cracked the code. He was using his credit cards for literally everything to rack up those juicy rewards points. In his mind, it was this brilliant financial hack. And look, on the surface, you can see why he thought that. He managed to use his points to get $4,000 worth of flights for a family vacation to Europe. I mean, that sounds incredible, doesn't it? A total win. But here's the catch. And it's a big one. To get that free $4,000 trip, Miguel had to spend around $200,000 over just a few years. So let me ask you, were those flights really free? Or did they just mask a much, much bigger cost? And this is where the psychology of it gets you. It's proven that when you just swipe a plastic card, you don't feel the pain of paying the same way you do when you hand over actual cash. It completely removes that emotional gut check, and that causes you to subconsciously spend more on, well, everything, from your morning coffee to your groceries. And those little bits of overspending add up to thousands, wiping out any rewards you might get back. Now, this brings us to an even bigger good debt trap: student loans. Let's talk about Emma. She was 18 years old, a high school senior who got into her absolute dream college. The problem? It came with a life-altering price tag, all neatly packaged as a smart investment in her future. So on one side, you've got the dream, right? This amazing private university, a degree in pastoral ministry that she's super passionate about. But on the other side, you have the cold, hard reality: over $105,000 in student loan debt to pursue a career as a summer camp director. A noble job for sure, but one that was never, ever going to pay enough to even touch those loan payments. And this is the tough lesson right here. Real financial maturity, real adulthood, isn't about getting to do everything you want whenever you want. It's about understanding the long-term consequences of your choices and deciding that a dream just isn't worth a decade or more of financial slavery. Okay, next up, the income myth. This is the one where we tell ourselves, if I could just get that raise, if I could just make a little more money, all my stress would magically disappear. But as we're about to see, it's really not about how much you make, it's all about what you do with it. So, meet Gabe. He's a 20-year-old college student still living at home. He was making about $2,000 a month, pretty good. But his only real bills were his phone and his gas, maybe $400 total. So the question is, where in the world was the other $1,600 going every month? It was just vanishing. And the main culprit? DoorDash. It's a perfect example that a good income with zero discipline is like trying to carry water in a sieve. See, the real fix for Gabe wasn't a higher income. It was building intentional habits. It was about setting powerful goals that are more exciting than a late-night burrito. Things like creating new routines, automating his savings so the money is gone before he can even touch it. It's called paying yourself first. Your habits, not your paycheck, are what truly shape your financial future. And you know, there's a dark side to chasing a higher income without a plan. Just take Lauren's story. She was literally working 2 full-time jobs, 80 hours a week, trying to get ahead. But without a solid plan for that money, it doesn't just fail to solve the problem, it can lead to absolute total burnout. All right, let's talk about the big one, the credit score myth. We have been completely brainwashed in our culture to believe that this little 3-digit number is the key to everything, that you can't buy a house, rent an apartment, or basically function as an adult without it. But what if that's just a giant lie? A young guy named Jake, fresh out of high school and totally debt-free, called in and asked a fantastic question. He said, "How am I ever going to get a mortgage if I refuse to play this credit score game?" And you know what? It feels like a trap, doesn't it? The answer is a simple, old-school term: manual underwriting. It's exactly what it sounds like. Instead of letting some faceless computer algorithm decide your fate based on a FICO score, a real, live human being actually sits down and looks at your real financial life. And the process is actually super straightforward. You provide proof of your income, pay stubs, tax returns. You show a history of paying your bills on time, things like rent, utilities, insurance, and you have a solid down payment saved up. A lender looks at that and sees a reliable person, not just a score. You absolutely do not need to worship at the altar of FICO to buy a home. So, after all this, what does it all add up to? It's this. Your single greatest financial asset might just be your willingness to be a little weird, to make a conscious choice to completely ignore what normal people are doing with their money. This weird path is about rejecting debt as a tool, period. It's about focusing on your habits way before you worry about your income. It's about understanding that your actual financial stability is a way better indicator of success than some made-up credit score. And ultimately, it's about building real wealth the old-fashioned way, with discipline and your own hard-earned money. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. What piece of normal financial advice are you following right now that might just be the biggest thing standing between you and the life you actually want to live?